So if you've been on this channel before, you may know that for about the past year, I have been attempting to recreate Pinterest outfits from my closet, not buying any new pieces, just whatever I have is what I have. And every time I post a video, I get several comments that I completely agree with. Like, I love Pinterest, but I don't like the ads, or as I've said before, the AI is just getting out of control on the app. There have been several very valid criticisms about Pinterest. And while I still like the site, I have been wanting to experiment. And recently I have been seeing this new site. Everyone has been recommending it, and it is called Cosmos. And they say it is like Pinterest for artists, that it is just much more. You really should have scripted this intro. There doesn't seem to be that many ads. AI doesn't seem to have taken over. It's a lot more curated. It also seems like that could be good. But I've only ever seen artists specifically recommend this site. I've seen some makers, but I don't know, like DIYers. But I want to see if it is actually useful for people that mostly use Pinterest for style and outfit inspiration, because I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it. So that's what we'll be experimenting with today. We're gonna go onto Cosmos for the first time for me, and we're gonna see how it compares, and then hopefully we'll get a few outfits and then I can try them on, and then we can talk about the Pinterest versus Cosmos comparison, pros and cons and such. I went onto Cosmos for like 2 seconds one time, and then I decided I want to do this video, so I haven't really been on there yet. The video that inspired me was this video, The Truth About Pinterest and Better Alternatives by Elise Nuts. And they talked about Cosmos. So I'm gonna click on, okay. So far, I will say the curatedness, is that a word? It does feel very curated. Like I can see, sign up on Cosmos to see more, meet you there. You can't just do it without signing in. All right, let me. All right, I looked up spring outfits, and yeah, okay, it's similar to Pinterest, I would say. I will say Pinterest has gotten slightly better at more diversity. It's definitely not perfect, but I would say it's better. This feels like Pinterest a few years ago, like all skinny white cis people. Not to say that Pinterest is good, it's just slightly better than this. Let's look up plus size spring outfit. Okay, this is better. Honestly, a lot more like high fashion, and I would say less everyday wear, which is kind of not fun. I like this outfit. That's cute. Okay, so it's like Pinterest. New cluster, okay. No, let's not say spring style. Let's say style ideas, create. Okay, look, here's literally the outfit that I did, I think last year? Was it like last summer? I kind of forget. Yeah, this feels like Pinterest, and I do like the one thing I do like is I don't feel like there's any ads. So how do they make money? I guess they give away your data. That's exactly what they do. See, that's my thing. If I wish that you could choose to be shown ads or your data to be given away, because I would much rather have ads. I don't mind ads as long as you're not giving my data away, but I think that's how they work, is they just sell your data. Yeah, I'll be on here for the next few days. I think I need to give it a little bit more of a chance. I didn't think this through, that like with Pinterest, the more you use it, it's like TikTok and all those other things, the more you use it, the more that the algorithm gets to know what you actually like and what you actually want from it. So I want to give it a fair chance. Yeah, so I'll see you in a few days and we can catch up and I'll tell you what outfits we're going to be doing. See you then. Hi, okay, so it's been a few days and I actually think it'd be better to go through the pros and cons first before going into the outfits because I feel like I need to explain a few things. I also feel a need to do a caveat, which is that in comparing Pinterest and Cosmos, this is intrinsically unfair. And that is because I've been on Pinterest for I think about a decade at this point. So Pinterest has had years to learn my likes and dislikes, what I want to see, and Cosmos only got a few days. So again, it's gonna be unfair, but I did try to give it the most fair of shots that I could. I think we're gonna do like a compliment sandwich type of thing where it's like compliment and then a con and then compliment and then a con. Pro. This is not a social media platform. Even though it seems like you can follow people, it is very clear that it is not encouraged. You can follow the equivalent of like what a board would be on Pinterest. They're called clusters. They kind of encourage you to follow those instead of the individual people or the content creators. And that can kind of take a weight off of your shoulders where you're purely there for inspiration. Even though I currently don't use Pinterest as really a social media platform, but if you do, it might be nice to have this alternative that is purely just for inspiration and for your own creative process. A con. It is not a social media platform, which I cannot believe that I'm counting that as a con, but let me explain specifically why. On Pinterest, it is not easy to find original creators all the time, but it is possible. And I like that for two reasons. One is for content creation. When I do my Pinterest videos, I like to try to find the original creators on Pinterest as often as possible. And if they're not, I try to find, like if they're on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, I try my best. I'm definitely not perfect. Again, Pinterest doesn't make it easy. And two, I like to follow the original creators on Pinterest. I think individual creators give me much more inspiration than just what Pinterest can try to guess that I like. Even though Pinterest has definitely gotten better about it over the years, I still like to follow the original creators of the pictures that I like. And also following those people tends to, in turn, help Pinterest find what I'm interested in. Now, the first point doesn't really matter to anyone who is not content creating content. So I'm not gonna count any points against it for that one, but the other one I will. And the reason for that is I think Cosmos had a pretty hard time figuring out what I liked. Like I said, Pinterest has had all this time to figure it out, whereas Cosmos is not getting a lot to go off of compared to Pinterest. So I kept that in mind, but I still felt like I was trying my best to give Cosmos ideas of what I liked. I would even save photos that I'd already saved on Pinterest on Cosmos to try to just give it as much of like, these are the things that I like and this is my aesthetic, just to try to get it on the right track. I gave it the best possible chance that I feel like I could. Next up, there are no ads from what I could tell, which was nice. I do get a little heart attack sometimes when I accidentally click on an ad on Pinterest and it takes you straight to the site. I hate that about Pinterest. Again, though, they probably do sell your data. If Pinterest is gonna sell my data and have ads, I would rather it just sell my data and give me no ads. So I do think that this is slightly better than the alternative. Con, and at the beginning, I actually felt this was kind of cool, but as the days passed on, I actually came to feel like Cosmos was too curated. What I mean by that specifically is it felt curated, but to only a couple of different aesthetics. I didn't get a huge variety of style on Cosmos as compared to Pinterest. As I said in my last styling video, I follow a ton of people with a variety of looks and the way that they come at personal style and clothing, and I prefer that over following a lot of people that have a similar aesthetic to me. I learn more, I glean more. Cosmos felt very like, the best word I can come up with is Instagram baddie, but make it 2025. Sleek, street style, old money, high fashion, high concept looks that just don't speak to me personally. And seeing it over and over and over again when I was actively trying to not pull up those aesthetics, like I would put in cottagecore, casual, everyday, dopamine dressing, and it would just keep showing me the same aesthetics. It started to get frustrating. Another pro. I got to see a lot of photos that I'd never seen on Pinterest. Were they the types of photos that I was hoping would pop up or was looking for? No, but they were new photos. That was very cool, and I think that can be inspiring for certain people. One thing I constantly think about Pinterest is, even though it does give me new content, I do feel like I'm constantly being pushed the same 50 photos. So as I scroll, I just kind of keep seeing them over and over and over again. And that can get frustrating, and that can feel very uninspiring. And of course, there were a lot of photos on Cosmos that I'd also seen on Pinterest. That happened a lot, especially at the beginning. In fact, Cosmos sometimes didn't even have a lot of photos to give. But con, and this is another con that I think is more specific for me. I don't know if everyone will have this issue. I saw a ton of photos. In fact, I would say a good 50% or more of the photos were pictures with no actual human being in them. There were a lot of drawings of outfits, which I do actually love, but I like when I also get the photo, like it's the combo for me. I like to see how the outfit actually looks on the person, and then how that person's art style with the outfit they were wearing kind of meshes together. I love that. As someone who likes to draw, that's some of my favorite content. However, when it's just drawn outfits and no human picture, and that's a most of what you get with some of the things that I would look up, it just didn't feel inspiring. I'd watched a video of somebody recently, I think it was Cheyenne Barton, who did like 7 outfits, drawing 7 days of 7 outfits of theirs. And I loved that video. It was super inspiring. I'm kind of interested in doing a similar idea. So if you want an idea like that, tell me below. I do like that. I like people drawing their outfits. I don't like when it's just the drawing though. I also want to see the picture, and maybe that's just me, and that's a very specific me thing that I want. And if it was every once in a blue moon, I also wouldn't mind it, but it was a lot of photos I was getting. I would say probably the number one type of photo that I got was when clothes were laid out or individual photos were taken and they were like photoshopped together or like folded and taken together. And that's fine, sprinkled in my opinion. Those can sometimes be inspiring, but I think you're missing so much of what is the intention of that outfit and what that outfit actually looks like, because you don't see how it fits a human being. So it's not super inspiring at the end of the day to me, because I don't know how the pieces are supposed to fit. And in fact, there's one outfit that I think I'm gonna do where I'll show you specifically why this is frustrating. If I can't see how things are draped, if I don't see the silhouette of the outfit, it's far less inspiring in my personal opinion. Pro, this is basically Pinterest. There are a few differences, but it was pretty easy to use because a lot of things are a one-to-one. So it was really easy to pick up and understand. Like, there were tutorials that you could watch, but it was pretty straightforward. So that was nice. Also, I do think the site looks better than Pinterest. And if you are going to somewhere for inspiration, the site itself, knowing that they put some effort into how the site itself looks, is a nice touch. Con. And this is the last one. So, you know, maybe it wasn't a compliment sandwich at the end of the day. For other curvy, chubby, mid-size, plus-size people, whatever you are, like myself, I will say there's not a lot of inspiration for us specifically. Kind of commented on earlier, it feels exactly like Pinterest sometimes 5 or 6 years ago, which doesn't feel great. Now, part of this could be that this is my personal Pinterest experience. Maybe other people are gonna say like, oh, I see, it's very similar to Pinterest for me, and that's totally valid. I don't think it's purposeful necessarily, but it does start to feel that way when you purposely look up mid-size and plus size, and within like 2 to 3 rows, all of a sudden it's all skinny people again. And as I also mentioned, there's just not a lot of diversity, period. And again, maybe if you don't look up things about personal style and just art in general, maybe it's so much better. But within the personal style areas that I was looking, it was pretty bad. Yeah, again, I ended on a con, so it shouldn't be considered a compliment sandwich anymore. But with that, we can move on to the outfits. Okay, let's discuss the 3 rules that I gave myself in order to decide what outfits would be picked for this portion. 1, it had to be outfits that I had not seen on Pinterest. I feel like that would kind of defeat the purpose. And it was a bit difficult because a lot of the pictures I liked also happened to be pictures I had also seen on Pinterest, but I did find a few. And 2 and 3 are just like my Pinterest videos. 2 is that the pieces in the photo are pieces that I can also find to a certain degree in my own closet. It doesn't have to be an exact match or anything, but I can get the general look from my own closet without buying anything new. Number 3 is it has to be outfits that I could see myself wearing on an everyday basis. Even if it doesn't end up being that way, at least beforehand, I can see myself wearing it on like a random Tuesday. And as I mentioned before, a lot of the pictures that I was finding on Cosmos were not my personal aesthetic or style. So I was having a little bit of difficulty finding pictures. Like if I liked them, then they weren't pieces I had in my closet. And if they were pieces I had in my closet, they weren't pictures that I really liked or felt like I would wear. I found a few, like maybe 6 or 7, and I whittled it down to 4 of what I thought were like the best contenders. First outfit. I would say this picture gives off like very effortless, Parisian chic almost kind of vibes. It contains pleated jeans, which I love pleated jeans. I feel like they are a way to really level up and make jeans feel a lot fancier, with a striped sweater, a bandana around the neck, sunglasses, and some like gold accessories, and chunky boots. Almost forgot. Now, because this is a photo, I cannot tell what the original creator wanted this to look like. Like, what is the silhouette of this outfit? Is it all oversized? Is the sweater supposed to be more fitted? I think it's supposed to be more oversized, but again, I don't know. So I don't have any striped sweaters, and I only have like fitted long sleeve tops, so I did my best. So for my outfit specifically, I do have a pair of black jean trousers, but it wouldn't go well with the shirt that I had planned for this, so I instead have this pair of navy pinstripe trousers that look similar. And for the top, I don't have a striped sweater, but I do have a striped shirt in this yellow color, which now you can tell why I wasn't going to use the black jeans, because it kind of would have looked bumblebee-ish. But I also like that these two have stripes, like it's a pinstriped trouser and then a striped long sleeve shirt. I think this is a great way to mix the same patterns by having a tiny little pinstripe with a larger stripe on the shirt. It works really well together, and it adds a bit of interest to the outfit, paired with what I usually wear as a handkerchief in my hair, but we're gonna be wearing it around the neck today, a pair of sunglasses, and honestly, these are the only ones I could find at the moment. I don't know where my other sunglasses are. And I have my scissor-shaped earrings that you can't see here, and these chunky boots, which are the closest I felt like I had. I think this outfit is really cute. Like I said, it actually, when I put it on, I felt very effortless. It was really, really comfortable. My top 3 once, I would say, when I'm shopping, one of them is comfort, but I feel like before comfort was like number 3 and now it's number 1. It was very comfortable while also feeling very stylish. The two do not have to be mutually exclusive. Now, I personally did not like the bandana around the neck portion, but that's just me. I don't like to further shorten my neck by having something right at my neck. So I probably just wear it in my hair like I usually do. But other than that, really cute outfit. Outfit 2, I actually saw pretty early on, and I knew that I had everything for this outfit in my closet. And that is because it gives off very like cottagecore, the other one like woodland core vibes. And it's in my favorite analogous color combination, which is green and blue. If you watched my last styling video, you'll have known that. And so the original has this really cute plaid dress, almost in like this pinafore-esque style, with a green cardigan and green Mary Janes. Again, not exactly sure how everything is supposed to fit, so we did our best. So in my closet, I have this blue tiered dress that is really cute instead of the plaid dress. I need to sew some fixes into this dress a little bit, but I think it will look really nice right now underneath this green cardigan I have that is a bit on the fitted side. I'm adding a belt, again, because of the fit problems. As with the last outfit, I didn't add a purse. In fact, I didn't add a purse to any of these outfits because I really only have fanny packs and backpacks, and the tote bags I sometimes carry around with me, I can't find either. I don't know where any of like my spring and summer stuff is. I don't know what I did with them. So no purses today. And instead of Mary Janes, which I do have a version of Mary Janes in a different outfit that I'm about to show, I have these sandals in a blue that I thought would go pretty well with the dress. So let's see what that looks like. I actually really like this. As I said, green and blue is one of my favorite color combinations, maybe my favorite color combination. And I didn't think to put these two pieces together until I saw this photo. So like, thank you. I feel like this is gonna be an outfit that I wear until it gets really warm outside. This is very, very cute. Picture 3 was one of the only ones that I could find with a person in it that also had things in my closet that I could recreate. So yay. And that is this picture, which is a floral dress that seems to have an oversized collar attached to it. And then layered with that is a really cute, more casual, oversized sweatshirt, as well as an orange purse, which I think is very cute. It's another cute little complimentary color combo, another favorite of mine. I do not have these colors in these pieces, so I kind of changed the colors around a lot. But what I do have is a old tiered dress that I have, another one, just like the last one. I went through a tiered dress and skirt phase. And since this is not blue, I thought maybe a yellow sweatshirt would go better color-wise. As for the oversized collar, I actually made myself one recently. I'll link the video up above. I'm gonna turn that upside down with like the embroidery down, because yellow and red can sometimes look like ketchup and mustard, which is not a favorite. With that, I have these sneakers that I think will go pretty well, and let's take a look at the result. I would probably wear this outfit with 2 of the 3 pieces instead of all 3 of them. So like, I think I would really like the skirt and the sweatshirt together, or the sweatshirt and the collar together, but all 3, it was just like a little bit too much for me. I think if my collar and dress match like the original, I probably would have liked that more. It was just too busy visually for me. For the last outfit, we've returned to the Photoshop picture, and this is an outfit that I think is great for spring. I've been trying to do more like spring leaning outfits here, and I think this one might be the most spring, like warm weather one. And because of the sewing I recently did, I have a shirt that is perfect for this picture. I love these kind of like looser but shorter, not quite cropped tops. And so I made one recently and I really, really love it. And I've been wearing it all the time. I wanted to try styling it like this. I didn't know if I'd like it on me, but I did like it in the picture. So let's see what I did. So this top is called the garden top. I made it in the same video that I made the oversized collar in, if you want to check it out. And with that, I have my kind of straight leg, kind of boot cut. And with that, I have this gemstone necklace that my mom made. I wore my Croc Mary Janes, which are kind of like Mary Janes. They're called Mary Janes. And a pair of socks that are like blue. I didn't show those because I was currently wearing them. I didn't really like this outfit on me that much. It was okay. I tend to like this top with a different silhouette on the bottom, but I could see this being cute on other people. It just wasn't my personal. I knew that going in that this might not work, and I don't think it did. Again, it was fine. Okay, listen, I do want to give Cosmos a lot of grace here, and I wish I would have reiterated it more throughout the video, but here we are. Cosmos doesn't sell itself as a personal style inspiration app. It is more meant, I know, for like art, photography, painting, stuff like that. So I don't blame the app for this. Pinterest sells itself for a lot of different spheres, but personal style is one of the big ones, whereas Cosmos isn't doing that. So I don't want to come on here and be like, oh, Cosmos is selling itself. No, I don't think it is. I do think, however, the people that are talking about Cosmos say that like everybody needs to move off of Pinterest, and I just don't think that's true. I don't think Cosmos is ready for like everyone and all the spheres and facets that are on Pinterest to move to Cosmos. I just don't think it's there yet. It might get there one day, but it's definitely not there right now. If you're in any kind of artistic sphere, you might want to try this app out. It might work a lot better for you. I just did a very specific little facet. So the few outfits I did find were pretty difficult to find. Like I said, I did try to do what I had done for Pinterest a few years ago when I was struggling to find cute outfits on Pinterest. You kind of have to hold its hand and think of very specific outfits that you like. So I would do like sundress with baseball cap, oversized collar femme outfit, mid-size trouser work casual outfit. Like I would try to get pretty particular about what I would look up. And on Pinterest, it started to work. It was like Pinterest was starting to learn the types of things that I was looking for. And I don't think Cosmos ever quite got there. Like it would get a little bit better. And again, maybe if Cosmos had the time that Pinterest has had, maybe it would get there. But I just wasn't seeing the algorithm hearing what I was saying. And I do think that's maybe because Cosmos just doesn't do personal style. That's not the point of it, at least not right now. The person who I got the video idea from at the beginning, that I talked about at the beginning, they did not say that. They did not say that this app was perfect for personal style. They were talking about art. And like, I don't want to sit here and shill for Pinterest. I really don't. I was really excited to try something new and hopefully have a better avenue for inspiration. I just don't think Cosmos is it yet for everyone under the sun. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching. I hope you had a good time. If you did have a good time, I would love if you would subscribe. That really helps me out, as well as commenting and liking are also awesome. But I hope you had a good time, and I hope to see you back here next time. Bye.